And I say, why is it we only take people from countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting. I mean, Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. She should get the hell out, throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
They are grooming a generation of very, very creepy people and showing them that shitposting is your way to the top. Humiliating people because of their race, ethnicity, or creed is your permission to join the club. When he says someone's an enemy, they say, wink, nod, we understand, sir. You want us to go after them.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the MeidasTouch Network. You've probably already heard about Donald Trump's speech earlier this week. It was supposed to be about the economy, but predictably, Trump could not help himself. He is, down to his very core, a racist. And this rally devolved into yet another anti-immigrant nativist screed. It was among the most repulsive performances he's given. But I hope you paid attention to the crowd. That's what scares me most. In spite of all the defeats Trump has been dealt lately, he still has the ability to rile up and deploy a mob of fanatics. That's what I wanted to talk to today's guest about. I aired the first part of my conversation with Miles Taylor a couple days ago. We discussed the illegal strikes in the Caribbean, and Miles offered his perspective as someone who once worked for Trump as a senior official in the Department of Homeland Security. But this second part of our interview gets much more personal. After Miles defected from Trump World, remember, he authored that anonymous op-ed revealing Trump's blatant disregard for the Constitution. When Miles revealed his identity, he became one of Donald Trump's top targets. And much like Ilhan Omar and others, he has had to contend with what happens when one of the most powerful people in the world says to his mob, "It's open season." Here's me and Miles Taylor. I feel like we are playing catch up. The right, with the media ecosystem they built up and the foot soldiers that they groomed, I'm using that word intentionally, it has become a terrifying mob and a source of real danger and threats to those who stick their necks out too far. That's the other lever of power that the Trump regime has that we don't talk often enough about. They've obviously got the military. They have captured the Republican Party and the Republican caucus in Congress. But as a last resort, they've also got the Proud Boys and 3%ers and Oath Keepers. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say ICE is becoming a regime protection force as well. Yeah. And you have experienced this firsthand in a way that Mark Kelly and others are now experiencing. The way the mob comes after you when Donald Trump blows that whistle, it has got to be terrifying. And I don't think people appreciate that in addition to all of his powers at the Department of Justice and everything else, he's got a fanatical group of followers that will do his bidding if they get the word.
It's true. I mean, grooming is the right word, Ken. I mean, it is not an exaggeration to say they are grooming a generation of very, very creepy people and showing them that shitposting is your way to the top, that humiliating people because of their race, ethnicity, or creed is your permission to join the club, right? That abdicating American values in favor of the leader is your stamp of approval to be a part of the tribe. That is what they're showing. And they're creating, again, this very creepy generation in doing that, including people who will respond to that dog whistle the president blows. When he says someone's an enemy, they say, wink, nod, we understand, sir. You want us to go after them. I mean, this is exactly what Trump did to me when I first came forward and exposed that I had been the internal critic anonymously posting about the president, putting out these opinion pieces. And then when I stepped forward in the 2020 campaign to publicly talk about these anecdotes, Trump goes in front of rallies all around the country and says, very bad things will happen to Miles Taylor. That was his quote. That wasn't a prediction. That was a request. That was a request. And his followers met that request with doxing and harassment and intimidation and death threats And you know what, Ken? It's fine if people say, Miles, you deserved it. You shouldn't have criticized the president. Did my sister deserve it? Did her children deserve it? Did my wife deserve it? Does my daughter deserve it? That's what happens in these circumstances. I mean, when the president sat in front of the country in April behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office and said that I was guilty of treason, the result was all of those people in my life got threatened again. The folks doxing, harassing, stalking us. Our business was destroyed. Family members were in total fear even to engage with us because of the harassment. When your phone number gets out there, your entire phone melts down. You've got to change all of your accounts. That may sound like a micro thing, but these micro things then start happening every single day. Because if they crowdsource that vitriol against you around the country, you could have 5 people in Florida and 20 in California and 5 in Iowa, all harassing you in different ways to try to destroy your life. They know that's what happens. And that's before you're even dealing with the legal costs, the financial toll, and other aspects of having to defend your freedom in the courts against the president of the United States. They know that the process is the punishment, Ken, and that's why they are less worried about winning these things in court and much more worried about bringing as many cases as possible and naming and shaming as many people as possible so the mob can do the rest of the work.
Hey everyone, it's Ken. Quick break for a shameless pitch for my Substack and Patreon pages. To all of you who have subscribed, thank you. Your support is what makes this show possible. Anytime you see in-person reporting, whether it's trips to Ukraine to show you what is really happening on the ground, or my recent conversations with Congressman Jason Crow and Senator Tammy Duckworth, where we got on-the-record commitments to back hearings into ICE's abuses of power.
People need to know that we're taking names.
All of this only happens with your support. Every dollar that comes in through Substack and Patreon goes back into this show. And with the holidays coming up, you can give gift subscriptions as well. The links are below. Thanks for everything. Your support means the world to me. Back to the show. I'm going to remember that phrase, the process is the punishment, because it feels like that is exactly what they are doing with Comey and James in cases that they don't have a chance of winning. The process itself is punishment for these people. And I don't think enough Americans appreciate what you went through, what others are going through, even when they win. It is a hell of an ordeal. You were one of the first to speak up and stick your neck out. I hope we can end on a more positive note here. I'm going to take a risk. Do you feel like there is a growing chorus of critics now that there might be some safety in numbers, that enough people are beginning to realize the king has no clothes, that his Department of Justice and his mob can't possibly come after all of us?
Yes, I do. And I didn't feel that way in April. I mean, and I don't say these things to generate any sympathy, but like when this happened to us in April and the president issued this executive order to investigate me for treason, the boat felt very small and it felt very lonely. We lost a lot of friends. We lost even family members who were scared to associate. The social fear was unlike anything from 5 years ago. And I was worried that this is what it was going to look like. His threats to institutions, whether educational institutions or law firms or individuals, would be successful because people would run and they would scatter. And in the 2 months that followed that, Ken, I found out that I was wrong. Why? Because the only reason we were able to mount a legal defense against this White House and this lawless president was because people we have never met crowdsourced a legal defense fund for us around the country. Thousands of people contributing so my family could defend itself. That was very heartening to us. That was enough to convince us, Ken, to choose defiance instead of capitulation, which was not a foregone conclusion. A lot of people tell you, including defense lawyers, lay low, hope it blows over, do not punch back, or you'll make it worse. And that was tempting to do. But when you have people stand behind you, when there's strength in numbers, it makes it easier to say, you know what? No, I do have support. I am going to go out there and fight this. And it's what we are now trying to give to other people. In the wake of all of this, we launched something called Defiance.org, which is a place people can go to get that exact experience. Every single week, we highlight a new organization and a new cause that people can go participate in to crowdsource that courage. That's really important to do. And there's a lot of great organizations out there doing it. And our job is to point people towards those great organizations, to help them find places they can get involved, places they can contribute, and to make sure that we are defying these abuses of power rather than capitulating to them as a country.
That's awesome. I've been following. The Substack is Defiance as well. We'll put links to all of it in the show notes. Miles, thank you as always.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.